Metronome is on. Just turn it off. All right. Today is gonna be a fun one. Now, we did record something already a week ago. It was supposed to be up, but we gonna leave that one as a surprise and do it over. Today we talking about Tiger King and Joe Exotic and all the fucking madness that surrounded this, right? Let me just start off this way, in this way right here, bruh. Who knew before watching Tiger King? Who knew that there was so much fucking drama in the world of zoos?
That is a fact, though. Who the fuck goes and thinks about the zoo being a place where murders happen?
Plots to murder for hire, alleged plots. Well, the plot ain't alleged, but who is really guilty of it is alleged. But we'll get into that as we go.
I'm not changing how I dress.
We should have used that as the intro. Not cutting my hair.
I'm not cutting my hair. I had some kinky sex. Not to mention, this nigga makes good country music.
Yeah, that's for you, bro. Me, the country music thing, not my thing. Okay, but let's get into it. This is all about Tiger King, a review/discussion. The 7-part docu-series on Netflix that surrounds Joe Exotic and a whole cast of characters in the world of breeding large cats. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Side note, before we even start. Mm-hmm. I've been to like one of these tiger rescue places.
Right.
And, I mean, there's some pretty cool places. Like, I've been to one on camp. And they had all type of big ass cats. And you had to be quiet in there. Like, you couldn't really yell. And you had to, like, stay with the group. And those cats are fucking menacing, bro. I seen lions and tigers and ocelots and jaguars and shit. Those things are not to be fucked with. Mm-hmm. But that was just a little side note.
But look, like, when you look at this this show, right? Mm-hmm. And you just start looking at it and you realize the size of the egos that's involved with this fucking world of tiger breeding and private zoos and the big cat rescue, alleged animal retreat, which to me just looked like a fucking zoo that everybody else was volunteering at and Carol Baskin was getting rich off of. But that's what it looked like to me. Mm-hmm. Or staying rich off of, because she was already rich because her husband disappeared, quote unquote, and left her a fucking shitload of money, somewhere between like $5 and $20 million. Her second or third husband. Bruh, let me just think about. Let me just get into the size of some of these egos. You know that other like the secondary cat breeder that they had in the show that was other than Joe Exotic, that Doc Antel dude. Mm-hmm. You know, he changed his name to Bagavon. Do you know what that means? Mm-mm. That nigga, that shit means like God. He changed his name to God. Got a whole harem of women that he makes them change their name and change their personality to fit him. They ain't allowed to even call themselves his fucking girlfriends or wives. They like his partners. They just like his fucking breeding stock. He knocks them up or whatever and makes them raise his damn tigers, and he makes the money.
That's crazy though. You wouldn't even think like people would do that in the world of zoos, in the world of like exotic animals. You wouldn't. Well, at least I wouldn't think shit would be like that in the world of exotic animals. But I mean, I'm clearly wrong because it is like that from what we seen here. So,
all right, so let's get into it. Of course, a little bit of backstory about it if you haven't watched it. Even if you have, this is how we do things when we have review discussions. Now, all of it is centered around the main thing that drives the situations that happen in this documentary. Because this is, believe it or not, when you watch this fucking shit, whether you want to believe it or not, all of this stuff really happened. This is real life,
and it's recent.
Yeah,
it's very recent.
All the things that you're seeing unfolded as the filmmaker was shooting this over a 5-year period from 2015 until now. Eric Good.
I'm gonna put it. This is how recent it was. Joe Exotic got apprehended September 2018.
That's how recent it is.
So,
and the jailhouse interviews, the jailhouse calls they were playing from him were from last year, right? And all of this happened, like, he was documenting Joe Exotic's everyday life, from the life at the zoo to him trying to get into politics, all the way up to the alleged murder for hire that he allegedly planned, to him getting locked up till now. Like, this shit, it's like, the thing about this documentary that's way different from a lot of documentaries that you watch and or the filmmakers go into it knowing what it's going to be about, even if they're doing it like on the spot and it's not a historical piece or a piece about somebody that's been killed, like a true crime piece, and you looking back on events, right? This shit was unpredictable, and when you ask somebody something and they respond to you, man, you just had to be there.
Yeah.
That's what this documentary is. We are there as everything is unfolding with this documentary because of how lucky the filmmaker got to be able to step into the life of Joe Exotic when the chaos was popping off.
Yeah, and he got in there like right when everything crazy was happening, like, because he recorded it within like a 5-year span, right?
He did.
And I mean, all of the stuff happened in like the last few years. Like,
it happened as from the way it was laid out in the movie, he was filming another wildlife guy. I can't remember his name, but I done seen stuff about him on like Animal Planet. A guy in Florida that like got a big ass room full of venomous snakes. He one of those venomous snake collectors, right? And it just so happened that a guy came to the spot with a snow leopard in the van. The guy just bought a snow leopard, one of the rarest big cats. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he bought it off of Joe Exotic. And that led him, the filmmaker, back to Joe Exotic. And then a fucking story that's stranger than fiction unfolded as the guy was just there documenting Joe Exotic. He probably thought he was just there to make a wildlife documentary. Like the shit that I saw Joe Exotic do and the things that I seen come out of his mouth. If you ever seen Cocaine Cowboys, right? And you saw the detective who was describing Griselda, and when he got to the part about Griselda naming one of her sons Michael Corleone, I'm going to quote him exactly what he said. The shit that I saw Joe Exotic doing and the things that I heard coming out of his mouth were fucking incredible. I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe it. Like, but it was happening. So Joe Exotic, he owned a place called the GW Zoo, right? He employed he employed people who were like down and out types. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. People who didn't have anywhere else to go, where they were ex-cons and couldn't get jobs anywhere else, and turned them, for better or for worse, into like, you know, people who were somewhat capable of raising exotic cats and other. He had other animals, but this is focused around, his business was focused around the cats, mainly the tigers, right? And the documentary is focused around the cats, mainly the tigers. So he had lions, he had primates, he had alligators, crocodiles. He had all that shit. All of it. But if you don't know the story behind him, I can't pronounce Joe Exotic's real last name, so I'm not even finna try. People know him as Joe Exotic anyway. The shit got like 13 letters.
I'll give this shit a shot.
Joseph
Allen Maldonado Passage.
No.
Oh, name?
Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage. That's his married name from from his husband.
Okay, this one must be
the one that started with an S. Is his real last name.
Skrebvold.
Yeah, that
Skrebvold.
Joseph, you be putting fucking fucking accents and shit like Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage. Nigga,
I thought it was like that.
It's passage.
I didn't know. Cause I saw the NE joint and then I saw his real name, so I thought it was like, I don't know what.
The Maldonado, because one of his husbands, the one who I sent you the clip from before you watched the documentary at the funeral, was named Travis Maldonado. So instead of Joe Exotic took on their last names, his current husband is named Dylan Passage, like a 24-year-old. But Joe Exotic is like 60. He was marrying fucking kids. He was marrying niggas when they was like 19 and 20. Son.
No cap.
I think Dylan Passage was 22. He was. Let me just take that back. He wasn't marrying kids. He was marrying grown dudes. They were just young. But this fucking shit is fucking fascinating, bro. You see inside a side of this world with these big cat enthusiasts that I never thought of, right? It was the egos and the rivalries that go on in the background of this shit, right? And the way that these people use these animals to get things that they want. It's like when you see it, it starts off. You can tell Joe Exotic has an ego, but it starts off like kind of light enough or innocent enough where if you're against the fact that he's breeding the cats, then you ain't gonna like none of it, right? But like, because you know these animal right motherfuckers and Peter and them, they against anything, bruh.
Hold on. His last name is.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
Schreibvogel.
That ain't how it's pronounced. He pronounced it in the documentary once, but he doesn't really go by it. Okay. He said people don't pronounce it right, so he changed the shit to Exotic.
Okay.
Just to change your name to something like that, or to change your name to Bhagavan, which means my Lord or God in another language, you got to have a fucking ego the size of the world, right? Yeah. Nigga, Joe
Exotic.
And he had real deal shit. Shaq done been to his spot.
Dang.
Shaq was in that bitch with him, taking a tour of the facility, the animal sanctuary or the GW Zoo, whatever you want to call it.
Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, that is.
The Freemason.
He is a Freemason. And he's a Q.
Yeah, but I bet you that Freemason shit takes precedent over the Q shit. But anyway, let's get back to Joe Exotic and then. So it starts off innocent enough if you are a neutral party on the tiger and big cat breeding front. I'll just say my only concern with it is if these motherfuckers happen to escape, like they did in Ohio, when the guy, they didn't even escape. The guy set the motherfuckers loose. There's tigers and lions and shit just running all over the place in Ohio, and the cops had to kill them all. That's my the know some motherfucker got a bunch of lions and shit somewhere close to me. My only concern is if I see Mufasa trotting down the fucking street one day. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna know what to do. I'm gonna try to kill that motherfucker too before he eats somebody, because that's what they do.
That is what they do.
A lion is not a dog, a domestic dog. A lion is not a fucking snake who will be ready to run away from you than to attack you. You know what I'm saying? A lion is a lion. And when they see you, they see that fucking... You know when you watch Tom and Jerry, bro, and the fucking cat is looking at the bird and he see it already cooked, or the dog is looking at the cat and he see him just as a ham. That's how lions see us. Like... That's what they see. They see ham, nigga. And they coming to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
not to mention, these animals can snap apart bones with, like, one bite. Like, their jaws are that powerful. Like, I seen a lion, like, eat, like, a whole, like, chicken.
Yeah.
With the bone still inside. Like, they threw it by the bone, and he caught it in his mouth. Like, well, and then you just, like, you hear the bones just breaking, and then it's gone. Like, he devours it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they do to humans.
That's exactly right. Like, even if I see if somebody got a fucking gator and it escapes, you can outrun it.
Yeah, because it's going to stay on the ground.
On land is our fucking, that's our domain. You fucked with a gator if you go into his domain, the water. You ain't going to escape that. Like, that's the crazy shit. That's on a side note, that a couple of years ago on a trip to Disney World, the little boy got too close to the pond and the gator grabbed him, bro, and killed him. He was too fast. I think Kennedy is having a bad night.
No cap.
Upset. Y'all gonna have to just bear with it. We got a good ass microphone, and it's gonna hear the baby.
It's gonna hear everything.
But
this is also a very good show. It's going very well, so we gonna keep this shit rolling.
We ain't gonna stop, so we just gonna continue. Me and you. Anyway,
I will go up there and see what's wrong with these things. Keep it high. Keep it high.
All right, we're gonna just continue going. So, like, we on a little tangent about these animals, but like a lion, you can't outrun it. You can't get away from it. But that's my only concern. So I'm more of a neutral party when it comes to the breeding of these animals, because I'm not for it. I'm not into it. I'm not about to visit one of these places and try to pet a baby tiger. I don't want to see one up close and personal. I just don't. But I'm not so hard against it like the animal rights people are. But it started off innocent enough in my eyes with him going on tours, having people pose with the animals for pictures, having people pet the animals, because that's what his business was. His business was for people to pet the animals. He ran basically a large ass petting zoo when it comes to the baby animals, and more of a you can only look at it type thing when it comes to the grown and fully mature animals. Like, but the danger of this shit is displayed to you front and center when I believe at the beginning of episode 2 or 3, Safri, one of his zookeepers, stuck her arm in the cage and a tiger pretty much ripped it off. Like, this is an uncut documentary. The arm was so badly gored when she stuck her arm in the cage and the tiger almost ripped it off that they fucking censored it in the documentary, bro. Excuse me. I was going so well without doing a fucking allergy snort. How many minutes are we in?
19.
I got
20 now.
Got 20 minutes in without doing an allergy snort, and I lost it. Anyway. these I'm gonna have to watch that later. These fucking animals are not to be played with. To just see the courage of these people to step in there with these fully grown tigers and to be comfortable, bruh.
Bro, speaking of comfortable, it's a scene in this where Joe Exotic is just chilling, right? He's singing one of his songs, right? Yeah. He chilling, he come out of the store, you know, and they just got him riding around, you know, just driving, and then you like it pans out of the mirror, and then you got one where it's only on him, and then it shows it from the back seat, and it is a tiger just in the passenger seat. Like Tony the tiger is in the passenger seat, and he's just messing with it and grabbing it and kissing, like, and it's like, how are you this comfortable with an animal that will rip your face off in like one swipe? That's not even full power, like, let alone it can eat your face off, like.
He came up around him, and I think like when you raise him, as far as I know, in my very fucking limited, knowledge of how animals behave, I don't know if this is with tigers, because tigers are normally solitary. Like, you don't, in the wild, tigers have miles and miles of territory that they claim that they will fuck up another tiger for crossing into, right? Or they'll get fucked up and the other tiger will take it. So tigers are not pack animals like lions. Matter of fact, most big cats, I think the only one that I can think of that are pack animals are lions. They go into prides. I think every other big cat that I can think of, they hunt and they do that shit in solitude. Jaguars, leopards, tigers, bobcats / pumas, and fucking pumas / mountain lions / cougars / panthers. You know, that's all the same shit. They do it alone. So I don't know if it's that Joe Exotic was showing like dominance over the tiger since their birth, and that's why they kind of won't fuck him up. You know what I mean? Even though, spoiler alert, later down in the series, one tried to fuck him up. One tried. He speculates that it was done to him on purpose. Like, he speculates that somebody put something on one of his shoes that the tiger was attracted to, and the tiger attacked that shoe and then subsequently drug him away. Right? But, you know, that sounds crazy on the tip of it. Just at a glance, that seems crazy, but after looking at all of this shit, that might have actually fucking happened. Somebody might have tried to assassinate his ass by tiger. Yeah. So and just
made it look like an accident.
So this documentary goes, and the main conflict is between the people of the GW Zoo, in at least from the perspective of this documentary, and Big Cat Rescue, which is run by a woman named Carol Baskin. Now, I don't know if this is just the way that she's portrayed in the documentary. I don't know if this is just how she really is, but Carol Baskin is one of the fucking most hateable people that I have seen in recent years, bruh. Like, Carol Baskin, bruh. Jeff Lowe is hateable. Matter of fact, most of the fucking cast of this fucking shit, the main people are fucking scumbags. Even Joe Exotic was one to an extent. He was way, from the way I looked at it, was way less of one than the rest of these motherfuckers. Right? It looks like to me, from what I was seeing, that most of these people didn't even have the best interests of these animals at heart.
They didn't. It was like looking at this and seeing what I saw and just seeing how they acted. It was really just a money ploy. because they knew that these animals could make money and they could make money off the animals. And to a certain extent, it seemed like these animals were some type of like currency. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I got this many cats with this much space, I can do this and do that. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me. Because most of these people in the show are kind of weird.
Bro,
And
they motherfuckers is fully weird, bro.
Mhm.
Like, ain't kinda weird, like. But Carol Baskin is one of the most hateable motherfuckers, bro. Like, she, to be an alleged victim of a murder for hire plot. Well, the plot ain't alleged. The plot is laid out up in here. But to be a victim of the murder for hire plot that Joe Exotic allegedly planned, which I don't think he did. You don't feel... I'm glad she didn't get killed. Like, I don't want to see her get shot, but other than that, you don't feel fucking sorry for her. She is as scummy as the fucking rest of them, bruh. Let alone, it's speculated by people that she actually killed her fucking husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get into it. Carol Baskin. Her husband, I think his name was Don. Was his name Don? Let me look it up. Just to be...
I think it was
sure.
Don, though.
I don't think they have him on the IMDb. But her husband, Don, that she was with before... Yeah, his name was...
Don Lewis.
Yeah, Don Lewis. That she was with before he... Before she was with the one that's in the actual documentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
He disappeared. And his will was altered to add, in case I disappear, the money is to go here.
Mm-hmm.
And she inherited what might have been between $7 to $20 million from him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she runs Big Cat Rescue, which is supposed to be an animal sanctuary, which to me doesn't look like a fucking animal sanctuary. The little ass cages that those animals is in look like they weren't even living comfortably. Like they look like they were living more comfortably at the GW Zoo to me when they were running free in the big cages. Like they had actual like lynx cats and like jaguars and shit at the Big Cat Rescue in cages that looked like that they were the size of a cage for like a medium-sized dog, bro. Like,
dang.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And even if the lynx cat, let's say a lynx cat was the size of a medium-sized dog, it's not domesticated. It's not bred to be in any type of cage.
It's not really none of those cats are.
No, they not bred to be in any type of cage, even at any zoo, even at GW Zoo. But they damn for sure ain't in their DNA to be inside a cage that look like it's the size of a cage for a medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what Carol Baskin does is she runs Big Cat Rescue that runs off of volunteer work.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you want me to tell you the first thing that this fucking bitch said that made me just say, you know what? I don't like her.
What?
These people volunteer to keep her shit running, right?
Mm-hmm.
She gets paid. She gets so many likes and shit on social media. She making money off of Facebook. Facebook send her checks every week, like tens of thousands of dollars. Facebook sends her because of her social media presence. She sends she gets paid off of YouTube, of course. She gets like 30 million views on each video because she just whoring out the animals for views, just the way that Joe Exotic and them are whoring out the cubs to be pet and whoring out the tigers for selfies.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing she doing, whoring them out for views and social media likes. But with the people who volunteer, the filmmaker asked her, how does she keep up with the amount of volunteers? She said in a nicer way, I don't even know none of these motherfuckers. Like, I don't know them. I see them and I be like, okay. And then until you be around for like 5 years that I might recognize your face. Mm-hmm. Say, oh, you been around here, you keep coming, you getting older and older. She don't even care about the people that's volunteering for her shit. But all she care about is being on top of this world. And you see that as this goes on. You see it as it goes on. That she starts like petitioning politicians to get Joe Exotic shit shut down. She really hated what Joe Exotic was doing because he was taking the animals on tours. Mm-hmm. He would take them to the mall, whole like little magic shows involving them, which I'm not condoning this shit because I don't think tigers and shit should be roaming around in the mall, whether you think you have them under control or not, because you never ever in your life have a lion or a tiger under any type of control, because the minute it feels like it wants to do what it's gonna do,
it's gonna do it.
You ain't got no means to stop it unless you kill it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. None. The only reason a tiger will stop fucking with you once it starts is because it feels like it. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
He was touring them, the animals around nationwide from mall to mall. She was upset. The way it sounded with them being toured around in a 18-wheeler truck, let alone the enclosures that she had them, at least the ones they showed on this. I can't say that all the big cat rescue was like this, but the ones that they presented to us, the enclosure she had were no better than being in an 18-wheeler truck. The shits just ain't mobile. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. That's what she got the tigers in. Mm-hmm. You see that right there? The same. My neighbor's dog is in something like that, bruh. Like, my neighbor's dog is in that.
But see, at the Carolina Tiger Rescue where I went, mm-hmm. they had their animals in something similar like that, but they were like extremely tall. Like, they were huge. And they had like the natural wildlife joints in there. Like, they had trees in there. Mm-hmm. They had like things specifically built for them to go in and lay in there. So it kind of made it look like the animals at the Carolina Tiger Rescue were actually somewhere where they looked comfortable. But in actuality, I don't think any animal, even animals in zoos, I don't think they're comfortable with that, because it's not their natural habitat and nothing thrives in their actual habitat. Mm-hmm. Nothing. No, I said that wrong as fuck. You heard that? Nothing thrives in their actual. Nothing can thrive when it's not in its natural habitat. That's what I meant.
That's what I know what you meant.
Yeah.
But that shit is like the way that she attacked Joe, right? And don't think I'm not gonna get into what Joe was up to, because he was up to some bullshit too. Mm-hmm. Like, this whole cycle of people that's involved in this Tiger King documentary was a circle jerk. That's what it was. That's what it was. So Joe Exotic was attacked by Carol Baskin. She was sending out like people to infiltrate the shows to watch them, and then so they could report back to local politicians or call the malls and say, do you think it's really safe for him to come here? And like, Joe Exotic was making from like 10 G's to 40 G's a pop at these mall shows. Mm-hmm.
Just for letting people pet the animals.
People petting the fucking tigers and taking selfies with them. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't know why you want to do that, nigga. The fucking tiger, the camera flash and the tiger don't like it, you turn around and bite your motherfucking ass off. Then what?
Then you just out of luck.
You know what I'm saying? So she came after him and started shutting down his business. That was his main business venture right there, was the tours. She got that shit shut down. Joe Exotic already didn't like her because she was one of those animal rights people. And the animal rights people and the animal breeders, they don't get along. Mm-hmm. Like, especially fucking like PETA and shit. Like, I mean, shit, bro. Who the fuck wants to be bothered with PETA anyway? The extremists out of PETA anyway. The motherfuckers who sneak up on you.
They throw paint on you.
Fur coat and throw paint on you. I wish the fuck one of them would throw paint on me. I'll beat that motherfucker in an inch of his life. He'll think he was going to the slaughter, nigga. That motherfucker be asking somebody to throw paint on me for him, bro. Because I'll be wearing that nigga's skin the next day. You understand? That
nigga said I'll go full on leather face on that nigga.
Nigga, I have a face of that nigga's face on my head, son. Like, you know.
Have a face of that nigga face.
Fuck that. But that's the type of
just to let niggas know, Peter, don't come over here with that bullshit.
Fuck off, I'll beat you motherfuckers with a fucking baseball. Beat your ass so fucking badly, nigga. You'll think that I'm having animal cruelty because I'm beating you with a baseball bat. And I done beat you senseless with it, so you think you being beat with Dracula out this bitch, nigga.
That nigga said, I'll beat you with a bat, nigga. You think I don't beat your ass with Dracula?
Yeah, I ain't over there. This nigga over here. He over here choking out there. You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm straight.
You can't be drinking something at the same time that you having a laughter fit.
I was parched.
Yeah.
I was parched.
You know what I'm saying? But hold on, just pause it.
Alright, we back. I almost died. Got babies crying in the background. But this is the Recovery Room podcast, and you get what you get.
Yep.
But you get good content, so.
Dude, because we was on, and we still on. What was I talking about? Beating up a PETA.
Beating up PETA, yeah.
But anyway, back to what we said. He already didn't like Carol Baskin because she was an animal rights person. Not quite to the level of a PETA extremist. And I know all PETA people ain't like that, but a lot of them are. Let's be fucking for real. About half of them probably are. Bruh. Motherfuckers would rather see you dead than a fucking animal dead, yeah. Bruh. Motherfuckers will them PETA niggas, they be saying they vegans. This is just a conspiracy theory, so don't take it as law. Don't take it as my word. Don't take it as me telling the truth. But them niggas probably really just eat people. Right?
Probably.
Anyway, conspiracy theory. Anyway. And if you love animals, then I don't got nothing against you. I'm not really an animal lover. I'm gonna be for real. I'm more of a person that's fascinated with animals than a person that likes them. I'd rather watch documentary style stuff about animals, like on National Geographic or Planet Earth or some shit, than to be near any animal, bro. Like, I don't need to see no motherfucking animal in person. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm more like, I don't want to be around no shit that gotta be in some water, like sharks and whales and shit. No, I don't really want to be around none of it.
I don't want whales, bro.
I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be around nothing that can fuck me up before I can fuck it up.
That's most animals, bro.
That's what.
Shit, you ass be around a fucking chimpanzee. That nigga,
yeah, slapped your face off.
Disfigure your ass.
Slapped your whole
give
face
you plastic
off.
Surgery, my nigga, for the worst. You will be that nigga. Chimpanzees are experts at botched.
Experts at botched.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but
bro, I'm about to go up there and slap that nigga. No cap.
Anyway, let's continue on. When it comes down to they were rivals, but the real rivalry heated up when she started getting the mall shows shut down. From the way the documentary portrays it anyway, and it portrays it as it was happening. Joe Exotic then started to do extreme shit, though. Mm-hmm. We got to look at it from both sides. He started doing extreme shit, like getting on his web based TV show and doing mock killings of Carol Baskin. He have a sex doll blew up and dressed like her, or he have a sex doll blown up and say this is her, and he would shoot it with a real fucking bullet right in his studio. Mm-hmm. Bruh, that's the type of wild motherfucker that he was. Mm-hmm.
Or have or the music video of the Hey Kitty Kitty.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to that in a second.
Okay.
When we start talking more about that aspect of Carol Baskin and her scumbaggery.
Okay.
All right. So the rivalry is starting to intensify. All right. Mm-hmm. And just like you was just saying, that was a perfect segue into the next major thing that Joe Exotic started doing to antagonize Carol Baskin, right? And he did the flyover where he visited Big Cat Rescue, and he did the flyover with the helicopter, taking bird's eye view pictures and videos of Big Cat Rescue to show how minuscule it was compared to GW Zoo. But the next major thing he started doing was pushing the theory and pushing the narrative that Carol Baskin killed her husband, Don Lewis, for his money. Mm-hmm. You know, and we get into that part of it, and it shows, like, Carol Baskin was one of them motherfuckers, bruh. Everything that they brought up to her, she had an answer to, right? A logical explanation for why this and that was happening, and why she couldn't have done that to Don because the meat grinder was too small, or why she couldn't have put him in a septic tank because somebody was living in the spot where the septic tank was at. Like, they couldn't have been co-conspirators. Like, the person who was living in that could have helped you put his ass in the fucking septic tank. You know what I'm saying? And this is all allegedly. As far as the facts are concerned, he's considered missing and never been found. Nobody knows where he is. You know what I'm saying? But the way that they laid it out on the video, on the documentary, is that Carol was kind of, they were at odds about the cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was a breeder, he liked breeding them and selling them. Mm-hmm. Don Lewis did, and they were also at odds about his money, because he said, if I leave your ass, my money is going with me. Mm-hmm. You ain't getting none of it. You know what I'm saying? And another thing they were allegedly at odds about is the fact that, Don Lewis left his wife that he had children with for Carol.
He did.
They showed some back in the day pictures of Carol Baskin on this shit. You gotta call a spade a spade. Carol Baskin was not bad looking. When Don left his wife for her ass, she was not bad at all. Like, we just have to be for real right here. Like, and that's what he liked. But when Carol Baskin started becoming a little older, and for niggas like him, a little older, it's like 26, 27, he started looking for some new, fresh, young 19, 20-year-olds, allegedly. Mm-hmm. And he found a few down there in Costa Rica where he was going selling those fucking animals at. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Carol didn't quite like that, allegedly. So,
gotta say allegedly.
Yeah, because, she ain't in jail for killing his ass. So, it's allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Exotic started to push a narrative and started to, people already believed that Carol had got him killed. Joe Exotic ran with it. He started running with the fact that she probably fed his ass to the tigers. She started running with the fact, with the narrative, not the fact. None of this shit is facts. Mm-hmm. Started running with the narrative that she might have fed him to the tigers. Started running with the narrative that she might have grinding him up in the meat grinder, and he started running with the narrative that she might have threw him in the septic tank. And this is the thing: when you see Carol Baskin talk about this, a smirk come across her face with everything that she's saying. Like, okay, now this ain't to say that somebody is guilty, You can't say they guilty off of this, because I do it too. I mean, I wouldn't have no fucks given about some motherfucker who I didn't like being dead.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them. That's like they would say about me if I was dead. But this was her husband, and maybe she didn't like him no more. But when you see her talk about him, you see that smirk come across, or you see her flat out laugh at some of the shit, an audible laugh. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but that goes to show that she really didn't care at all.
I mean, she got the money.
Yeah, she got the bread.
She used his money to start Big Cat Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't have shit when she met him. She grew up poor. You know what I'm saying? And they got the will and testament rearranged to include the weird ass fucking statement of "in case I disappear." Like, now he could have included that. You look at it from both sides. He could have included that knowing that he was just gonna vanish and never come back.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he went and started life over with a new identity, knew this, do that, and says, "Fuck it, she can have it all." But
another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. And another one does. And another one does.
Another one bites the dust. Hey. It was appropriate.
That could have been that.
All I'm saying is, all these motherfuckers that got something to do with these big cats in this limited series, they all fucked up.
Yeah, they are, because we got more of them to talk about.
Yeah.
We got more of them. We just talking about the second major thing that spurred on this conflict. Because the shit that went on with Carol Baskin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what drove everything else that happened. Is what drove the other people to get involved with Joe. Yeah, so like her pursuit, their rivalry caused Joe to damn near go broke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got these other characters into the picture that really ended up with Joe locked the fuck up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest fucking scumbag of everybody in this is a man named Jeff Lowe. A piece of shit. Like, if you watch him, you know he ain't shit. He a little Napoleon complex motherfucker that was using these fucking animals to get women.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it was. The people are the women that he fucking with, fascinated with the animals he had access to, not him. And the fake money he was throwing around, his behind on Ferrari payments ass, his rent in a mansion ass. And that's what happened. He got wind of a lawsuit that Carol Baskins brought against Joe Exotic. Carol Baskin and her husband, because Joe Exotic started doing shit. Like he was trying to encroach on it and kill that Big Cat Rescue shit. Because Big Cat Rescue ain't no different than the rest of these fucking things. At least the way it's portrayed on this video. Mm-hmm. On this documentary, I mean. Big Cat Rescue is no different from GW Zoo. It's no different from Doc Antel in his retreat down there in Myrtle Beach. It's all the fucking same. If anything, they shits is better than hers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing is, she built people into doing the work that they doing over there for free instead of getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So, that shit ain't really no different. So, when you look at how it is, Joe Exotic, he decided to kind of parody her image and her in the name of her company, so when people Google it, they got his too. Mm-hmm. And that's what his major fuck up was when it come to his financial shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What he did is got fucking sued. He would have had hella money if, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. They speculate that Joe Exotic did it, or they speculate that some animal rights people did it. He was filming, like, in the background of all this, and all this shit is happening in real time. A reality show was being filmed, right? Mm-hmm. With Joe Exotic and that man, what's his name? Rob Kirkman? Was it Rob?
Yeah.
Let me look up his actual name before I just start butchering shit with this man. Let me see.
I know his last name was Kirkman though.
Bear with me. Let me scroll up the IMDb. Rick Kirkman. Mm. And it ain't Kirkman. It's Kirkham.
It's Kirkham?
Yeah, Rick Kirkham. Rick Kirkham. Mm. Right? So he was like a TV producer, and he was filming a reality show. That's where the name come from, Tiger King. Right? He made Joe Exotic a throne, and Joe Exotic was like, yeah, I'm the Tiger King, whatever. That blew his ego up even further. So Rick Kirkham, I fuck with Rick Kirkham. Rick Kirkham gave no fucks about nothing but that reality show. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was that him and Rick Kirkham came to odds or whatever, and the reality show had started, was about to form, and Rick Kirkham owned the rights to it. Joe Exotic would have still got money off of that. But whatever, the fucking studio where all the footage for the reality show was at got burnt down by somebody. Some alligators and crocodiles got killed in the process. Mm-hmm. Right? And that was the finances for Joe. Right? That was Joe's finances. After the shutting down of the mall tours, the major money influx was supposed to come with the reality show. They were in discussion with a network. They didn't name the network to have that shit air on TV. Would have been some Duck Dynasty type shit. But also the filming of the reality show started kind of getting to Joe Exotic fucking ego. He started acting a little bit too wild, disrespecting the employees and all that. Mm-hmm. But that shit got burnt down, and Carol Baskin was suing them, and I'm talking about suing the fuck out of him. Sued his parents or sued his moms. You know what I'm saying? Was threatening to take her house. Mm-hmm. Like this woman, bro. Like most of the people in this show is a piece of shit. But look, she's a piece of shit too. She's supposed to be the victim, but I got no sympathy for her as a victim. Like, the only thing, like I said earlier, is that I'm glad that she ain't getting murdered. But other than that, the rest of her is just as scummy as the rest of them. She got an ego just like the rest of them. Like, her ego is wrapped up in the fact that she's the righteous one in this crusade against animal breeding. Even though she keeping them fucking caged up too. Yeah. Like everybody, and she doing it for profit too, because she has tours. If Big Cat Rescue was all altruistic, they wouldn't have motherfuckers coming in there to see the animals. They wouldn't be running it like a zoo. They would just have those. It would be like hospice for the animals, because these animals are supposed to be rescues. So it'd be hospice. Let them come in there and to live until they die peacefully. Do you see people lining up to take hospice tours to look at the dying people and shit? Do you see people doing that? Nah. Walking around the hospice saying, oh, look at old Mr. Jones over there in the rocking chair. He'll be dead in like 4 weeks, but we can look at him be old for right now. No, that ain't. So the rescue sanctuary was what it's supposed to be. then it wouldn't been motherfuckers in there because that shit was just another zoo from the way I was looking at it. But that led Joe Exotic letting. I was just talking about this fucker and Jeff Lowe into the fold, right? And Jeff Lowe was somebody who came around throwing around weight like he had money or whatever. Which he might have had some, but he didn't have the money that he didn't have the money that he put on like he had. He was scheming niggas. Jeff Lowe came around, and what he did, right? He started infiltrating the park. He did give, according to Joe Exotic, he did break bread 30, broke him off like 30 grand, right? To get out of some of the shit that Carol Baskin was doing. Because Joe Exotic was vindictive. The shit that they was trying to seize from him to give to Carol in the lawsuit, that nigga was just taking some shit and blowing it up. He was actually blowing up the watch that she was supposed to get from him. He exploded that joint. The mattress they wanted, he took it out the yard, shot it with some type of explosive device strapped to it and blew that shit up. He wasn't trying to give her shit, but Jeff Lowe paid some of it, and that was his ticket in, right? And once he got in, he maneuvered his way into the zoo being signed over to him. And then he started trying to infiltrate, transform shit, right? He started taking over for that, hired his own staff, which, I mean, I guess it was his, he was entitled to do it, but then it became a thing about clashing egos, right? The thing about clashing egos with that was that now Joe is no longer the owner and shit, right? And they started to kind of bump heads to the point where, like, Jeff Lowe didn't really fuck with Joe anyway. I don't think he fucked with him from the beginning. Like, and everybody know, like, if you know about Joe Exotic, that he was gay and he was married to dudes and all that shit. Ain't what I'm here to talk about.
Like, he was like openly gay too. He didn't have no problem saying it or any of that.
He did not care. Rest in peace to Travis Maldonado, though. That was one of his husbands. He accidentally killed himself. He was playing with a gun. He had a Ruger, and, you know, he apparently thought that the Ruger couldn't fire if the clip won't in it, but he was mistaken, and he put it up to his head and pulled the trigger and blew his head off. Right in front of people. This shit is on camera. It's right off camera. So, just like, we gonna get done in a minute, but when Joe Exotic was running for like city council or whatever, or no, not for city council, for governor of Oklahoma, his campaign manager was in there, like in one of the offices, and he saw him. Like, you see the muzzle flash right off camera of Travis blowing his own head off. That shit is crazy, and that's what led to that crazy clip of him in the balls thing. Jesus, I can't repeat it. I cannot. I mean, that's why I'm saying
you have to take a major pause if you recite that.
I mean, it's a quote from Joe, but
go don't quote it. Just quote it. It's alright. It's alright.
That nigga Joe, and I quote with the major pause. Like, he said, "I could be busy, focusing as hard as I can, doing something on my computer, like writing a note to a senator or a letter to a governor or something of that sort, and he'd do anything to cheer me up. He'd come put them balls right on my face." And this is Joe Exotic quote. And he said, "Hey, you know, he done it if you're working there because you seen his balls." They was like golden nuggets to that boy. That's what he said. He said that shit at the funeral. In front of people.
In front of
people. That was his eulogy. His eulogy to Travis was about Travis putting his balls on Joe's face.
Bro, when I seen that, man, I was done. I was no good after that.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I got a hiccup. But anyway, back to it. Jeff Lowe and his wife, they kind of start infiltrating the zoo. Right? And that shit, you could tell he was a scumbag from the beginning, but I don't think, excuse me, that Joe knew, because Joe was kind of a scumbag too, just not nearly as big of one. And he was surrounded by scumbags. Like I said, I didn't know that the world of zoos was filled with so much shit. I didn't know that this type of shit is what happens.
Mm-hmm. Neither did I, though.
These niggas is damn near the fucking animal mafia. Like, they the 5 families of the animal mafia. You got Doc Antel. He got his family, his mafia family in the animal world. Big Cat Rescue is a mafia family. Fucking Joe Exotic and GW Zoo was a mafia family. And that was basically fucking Paul Castellano getting knocked off by John Gotti. when Jeff Lowe came in and infiltrated and took over GW Zoo. That's what it was. I mean, that's the analogy I got anyway, because that's how these fuckers was acting, bro. Like, some of these people probably got blood on their hands. Carol Baskin might be a murderer.
Might be.
Look at it. This is her right there. Look at her. Do it look like she got any remorse talking about the death of Don Lewis?
No, it don't even look like she care really that
she
much.
Don't, bro. Maybe her face is stuck like that. She look like she been putting on makeup for so fucking long that her shit is formed. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy though. Look at that. That's Don Lewis's children and his first wife. His first wife is in the blue. Mm-hmm. That's her. That's their daughter, bro. The wife. The moms look younger than the daughter, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's crazy. But Jeff Lowe infiltrated, and he got the zoo put over into his name, and that's when he hired another major player in this fucking shitstorm. A friend of his, ex-convict. You know what I'm saying? He was the handyman for the zoo. I mean, when you see this guy, he looked like he was down for the fucking get down. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mr. Alan Glover, right? Mm-hmm. Now, as the next major thing that led to the downfall of Joe Exotic was the political shit, right? The political campaigns. You know why it led to the downfall of it? Wow. Because he started forging Jeff Lowe's name on checks and embezzling money from the zoo to himself to pay for his presidential and governmental campaign. Now, mind you, he'd already signed the zoo over to Jeff Lowe. It's now his shit, mm-hmm. Right? So his the money and shit had to be okayed by him. He's the owner now, right? Mm-hmm. Mind you, everybody who I keep introducing into this narrative, they're all scumbags. Like every person you that's listed are a piece of scum. Like, you watch the show and you just are fascinated at the scum. The scumfuckery that we see in this thing. But it continues on down the line. Another person that was introduced around this same time was the strip club owner James Garrett's, and he's more important later on in the discussion. So Jeff Lowe, he brings on Alan Glover. That's his handyman, and Alan Glover and Joe Exotic bump heads immediately. He doesn't like him, right? So what ends up happening is that Joe Exotic is running for president and the governor, making some fucking hilarious campaign ads. My nigga, go ahead on and quote the campaign ad again.
I'm not gonna change how I dress.
Yep.
I'm not gonna cut my hair. I'm openly gay. He said, I had some kinky sex. I tried drugs. He was just going ham like the whole time. Like, and you can find it. All you gotta type in is Joe Exotic for president, and it's the first video that pops up. So.
And then if you watch the one that was on last week tonight with John Oliver, that one is even more funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it continues, and the embezzlement shit is what really let Jeff Lowe seep into the zoo even further and really push Joe out. He started threatening him, he started scaring him, and Joe ran off, right?
Mm.
Joe ran off, and Joe was on the move. The campaign manager was still around as he Joe didn't actually run off just yet. The campaign manager was around. He started noticing that it was fucking listening devices and shit around. The FBI was watching these niggas like this is animal people. The FBI was watching the zoo niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was watching them. And the reason why he was so-called watching, they were watching him, was because of the fucking Carol Baskin shit. The murder for hire shit. Right? And let's get into that, because that's where all of this culminates. With the murder for hire. Let's discuss that. Right? Allegedly, Alan Glover was the person hired to kill Carol Baskin, right? For $3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or for $5,000 according to him, but $3,000 is what Joe Exotic ended up paying him. Let me ask you a question. With Oklahoma, that's where they were at. They had to go to Florida to kill her, because that's where she's at. How the fuck is you even gonna do that? You gonna take the payment? Was that just a per diem or something that you got paid and you were just happy with it? You just took a payment that was just gonna basically cover your fucking travel expenses and living expenses while you was down there doing the hit, and once you finished with that, you wasn't gonna have shit left? Because $3,000 to go from Oklahoma to Florida, hunt down somebody and kill them.
That's not enough.
Stay somewhere and you might you got $2,000, $1,500 left after you finish doing all that shit?
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? Put out a fucking down payment on a used Civic? Is that what you
Put a down payment on a used Civic. I'm weak.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it seemed like niggas was gonna do though.
So according to this shit, all seemed like a setup, bro. Because
it did.
How are Jeff Lowe, Alan Glover, and fucking what's his name, James Garrettson, all free? When when Jeff Lowe admittedly actively fucking participated in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, he was up there. He had the logistics of it. admittedly in the documentary. He was like, the way you would get her if you catch her riding down the bike path, nothing is around there. You could kill her and not get caught if you catch her on her morning bike ride. Mm-hmm. That was his fucking idea. And that nigga is scot-free. Like, according, if you look at the end of it, he might not be fucking free for long. Because the investigation, according to the FBI, ain't over. But why Joe Exotic shot himself in the foot by doing all those stupid ass skits about killing Carol Baskin, because they used that shit as evidence against him.
Yeah, even if he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. They used that shit as evidence against him.
That's the song right there.
Mm-hmm. And they trumped up other charges. Well, they didn't trump them up. They threw in other charges to make the fucking to make sure they got a conviction. They threw in the charges for him euthanizing the 5 tigers, or I mean, just to make sure, like, I don't think I'm being biased, for him killing the 5 tigers, what he admitted to doing. But Jeff Lowe, Alan Glover, James Garrison, all running around out here free when they were in on the plot too. If the plot happened, and it seemed like Jeff Lowe was the fucking mastermind of it. It seems like he was the fucking mastermind of it, bruh. Because listen at this. What Jeff Lowe basically did is he helped mastermind the plot. He even egged the plot on. He even on this documentary admits to egging the plot on to try to rope Joe Exotic into it to get rid of him. He said that out of his own mouth on this shit. And he out. He egged the plot on. He had the logistics of the plot. He had he had the plot down or whatever, and he turned it over to the FBI after he came up with it and said, here you go, get Joe. Mm-hmm. He wanted to kill Carol. I don't understand. You if you got the tapes, you got him, you got the evidence on his computer of him Google mapping the trail where Carol rides her bike at, not on Joe's computer. So how is this nigga able to be in a fucking documentary?
It sounded like a setup to me.
It was a setup. You want me to tell you how?
How?
Because Joe, they sent an undercover cop at Joe to see if he would offer the cop money to kill Carol, and he didn't. Mm-hmm. But allegedly he offered the good best friend of Jeff Lowe, which is Alan Glover, the guy who Jeff Lowe brought Alan Glover into the fold. He offered him money. They don't have proof of the money changing hands. They don't have recorded conversations. They just have their story against Joe Exotic's story. Mm-hmm. I mean, spoiler alert: Joe Exotic got found guilty, and he locked up for 22 years. Like, so when he had the chance to offer the cop, because they tried to entrap him. They said, here you go. I got somebody who will kill Carol, whatever, for you. You see, this is what we're going to get into James Garrison. He's the one who started all this shit rolling with the FBI. He became an informant. He had credit card fraud charges against him and all that shit, right? He wanted to get out of that, but he a scumbag, right? You want me to tell you why? Because he fucking went to the FBI to try to get Joe Exotic out of the picture, because he thought that the fucking piece of shit Jeff Lowe was gonna let him name the new zoo after himself. Mm-hmm. What? Nigga, you didn't realize that you were being used too? Like, they got hidden camera shit in here that the actual documentary filmmaker took that these niggas didn't know he was taking.
Mm-hmm.
See, James Garrison told the FBI whatever. I think some heads is gonna roll now that this shit is out.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh. The same way heads rolled when Surviving R. Kelly came out.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is out now, and niggas is finna get fucked because they was talking shit that they ain't know that damn documentary guy was recording. And that he recorded James Garrison admitting he was there when the Murder for Hire was planned and admitting that Jeff Lowe planned it.
So basically they agreed to like let him record this, or none of them knew?
Oh, he had a hidden camera. He had a hidden shit like one of those cameras that's hidden in a fucking pen or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
footage
like
is all grainy and shit,
yeah,
but
it's there, like you can hear it.
You can see it and hear it. Like, you see how this looks is nice in HD.
Mm-hmm. This is when he was just actually out there recording, but he got the joints like in the movies where they be trying to get credit, like the James Bond joints where they be having the glasses with the camera on them. He had one of them type joints on him.
Yep.
That's crazy though.
So he had that shit. He had the admission, and he done put it out here for the world to see. It's the #1 documentary on Netflix. It's the #1 thing on Netflix.
#1 in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
#2 is Ozark,
which I will be watching later. But that's the crazy part about this. Like, it was shit that these niggas wasn't willing to tell when they knew they was being filmed, that they just went ahead on and spoke out about.
When they want their cameras around. Well, when they thought there weren't no cameras around. I mean, that's anybody would do. I mean, if niggas think they ain't being recorded, they liable to say anything. But when the actual camera is out, niggas be all, oh, I ain't say that. But
James Garrison is his ass gonna go to fucking jail too, even though he the one who started this snitching. Because like, when you look at it and you read between the lines and you see the reason why him and Jeff Lowe fell out, because James Garrison don't fuck with Jeff Lowe no more either. The guy who he was building a new zoo with don't fuck with Jeff Lowe. Anybody that's that ever was with Jeff Lowe, they don't fuck with him no more. And then when it's that way, you might be the problem. If the fucking common denominator in all these people being pissed off is you. You know what I'm saying? So Jeff Lowe and James Garrison fell out because once the shit was done and Joe Exotic was locked up, James Garrison thought that he was going to be the namesake of the new zoo, and Jeff Lowe said it don't work that way. Bruh, he was like, I came to you. James Garrison basically was willing to set up whoever he thought would benefit him the most. And at this time, he thought Jeff Lowe was going to benefit him the most. Had it been reversed, he would have went to Joe and set up Jeff Lowe. That's what would have happened. But them niggas, he fucked them right over, right? Told them, get the fuck out of here. You gets none of these.
You gets none of these.
And now he trying to, in the documentary, throw Jeff Lowe under the bus too. He trying to say he said that shit in the documentary. How is Jeff Lowe free? Or he said something similar to it, and he said he ain't done with the FBI. Like, they was ready to arrest this nigga Joe so bad that they put them extra charges in there. I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, really? That's what you gonna do? Throw in some animal cruelty? I bet you he got more time for euthanizing them tigers than the damn murder for hire plot, because he got 22 years. He got 22. And shit, can't a murder for hire plot carry your ass for about 25, 30 by itself? That damn Dahlia DiPolito, who had the murder for hire on her husband back in the day, shit, she got like 25 fucking 30. For that shit, man.
This whole shit is crazy. I just didn't think zoo niggas was even built like that. But I guess when you get crazy white people, shit changes.
Well, I guess so, bro, because all these motherfuckers was white. Now that I was about to try to give these niggas the benefit of the doubt, but nope, they was all fucking white.
They were.
I ain't see no colored faces doing none of this shit. None of it. They was definitely all white. Tim Stark, that was the guy building the new zoo with Jeff Lowe. Him right there. Had a falling out. Jeff Lowe and Tim Stark was spending all the money and Jeff Lowe was taking all the credit. Like, he a fucking con artist. Like, this is who the FBI fell in the bed with. They fell in the bed with the real fucking criminal in my eyes. They fell in the bed with that piece of shit ass nigga. Nigga who went to jail for strangling his first wife. Jeff Lowe. Like, between him and Carol Baskin, like, I can't tell which one of them piece of shits is more hateable. I mean, we just giving a short review of the documentary, just to give you a little slight insight into the wildness of this situation, and you would never think that from a bunch of fucking zookeepers and cat rescuers. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Like, I mean, man, I would just recommend to watch it because my fucking synopsis and our fucking review didn't do what you're actually gonna see justice. Like, you're gonna see some wild shit happen. Just great. I love documentaries, bro. I love them shit. So maybe I'm biased, but I love this shit. I binge watched it in one day. Damn near 7 hours of fucking documentary. I watched it
in
all
one day.
In one day on last Saturday. And then as it went on, when we was thinking about re-recording the one that got corrupted, which we are still gonna do. Mm-hmm. It was just like, man, let's talk about Tiger King instead.
I mean, this shit is cool. It's just a bunch of crazy shit happening. Like, it's something I wouldn't even expect. And I was honestly wondering why it was like trending #1, like Tiger King. Because I'm thinking it's just a documentary where a nigga just got some tigers and shit. I ain't know it was all this crazy shit.
I ain't know either, bro. The Doc Antle dude I had heard of. Joe Exotic I hadn't heard of before this. Or Carol Baskin. I hadn't heard of either one of them. But the Doc Antle dude was lending his animals to movies, so I had heard of him. Mm-hmm. Like, I ain't even want to get into I ain't really want to get much into him because, like, I mean, who gives a fuck about him? But the most interesting the most interesting speculation they had about him is that he kills the fucking tigers. Once the cubs is too big to be, like, in his little petting zoo shows, he just fucking offs them. That's what his shit was about, but... That's our little wrap up and review of Tiger King. Like, we wasn't trying to give every detail, just hit on some major plot points in the documentary. It ain't even is it plot points because this shit ain't fake. This shit is real. Like, and go watch it, man. It's on Netflix. Every one of you motherfuckers got Netflix. Or you know somebody who do, and you using their code. So go watch Tiger King. Now, we're going to do some independent artists, and then I'm going to go home. All right.
So, starting, we got 242, City Pyramids featuring Villeboy Ran.
This is going to be a real familiar independent spotlight. Spoiler alert.
fuck to give, cause I ain't got the time. Can't be wasting my prime. Got too much on the line, and if I fall, Lord knows I'll never let me slide. I mean, even weekends consist of the grind. I mix tequila, sativa, and feel it all coincide. My girl said I need a break, so now I'm breaking our ties. It's been a while since I prayed, gave a kid or I cried. She said keeping emotions bottled ain't good for the mind, so now it's self-love, self-worth, self-care, bitch, we next up. Who don't believe I don't care, wanna flex up, now we flexed up, oh yeah, cause we grind all winter to shine the rest of the year, oh yeah. And I'm a king if you ain't know, so when I leave, bury me with all my green and my gold. Spent too many late nights, making magic with the flow, made it happen out of pocket like a magnet for the dough. I don't have a fuck to give, cause I ain't got the time. Can't be wasting my prime, got too much on the line, and if I fall, Lord knows I'll never let me slide. I mean, even weekends consist of the grind, but now it's self-worth, self-love, self-care, bitch, we next up. Who don't believe I don't care, wanna flex up, now we flexed up, oh yeah, cause we grind all winter, shine the rest of the year, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we grind all winter, shine the rest of the year, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ran, if I had $1 for every fuck that I gave, you would see nothing was saved. You would know I'ma do me till I'm stuck in the grave. Glued to the ghetto, baby, I'm stuck in my ways. Since a little nigga been a real nigga in the field with them, nigga, I ain't run with the slaves. Stuck in the cage, trying to think out of the box, ain't fucking insane. Been running the game, for a minute, you niggas on crutches and canes. Trust is betrayed.
As always, let's start off first. The beat is amazing.
Amazing.
That fucking slow build up, where the tempo, where the pitch of the beat or the backing instrumental was at the slower pitch or the lower pitch, and then they sped it up and highered the pitch to make it fit with the fucking 808s and shit. I mean, masterfully put together as always. But then, like, I like those aggressive fucking songs with a message, right?
Mm-hmm.
The message of this track is about doing what you gotta do for you. You know what I'm saying? Grinding. You know what I'm saying? To get where you need to go. But that shit is enraptured by not giving a fuck. Not giving a fuck about the bullshit that's going on around you, that's trying to stop you from getting where you want to go and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, I don't have a fuck to give. That's how the fucking song started off. If I had $1 for every fuck that I gave, you would see nothing was saved. Like
Nothing was saved.
like this. I mean, like these dudes, like this is AZUS. If you ain't know, it's Cidy Pyramids and Villeboy ran. These dudes never make bad music.
I have never heard a bad song.
Like this shit is. I don't know how you could be on such a fucking winning streak that it's ridiculous when it come to music making. This is off of the new AZUS Volume 2 compilation. Some new tracks that I haven't heard or that we haven't heard, and some other tracks that we have heard off of albums that we have listened to, off of and even some that we've reviewed or reacted to in the past. But like this is, I mean, it's just another fucking win in the W column. What about you, bro? What you got to say about that joint?
Man, this song is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like the beat, lyrics, flow, this song is like a perfect song. Like I don't even know what else I can say about it. Like it's already great. Like it's one of them songs that you ain't even gotta say nothing about. You just let it play and it speaks for itself. Like I can't even do the talking. It speaks for itself. You hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So shit, it's AZUS. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So shit.
Listen to that shit.
Listen to it.
Description in the
description.
Nope. Link in the description, as they all will be.
Next, we got a new artist we haven't ever reviewed.
Who that?
His name is True, and the song is called Redundant.
Is it?
Ready?
Let's go.
Yeah, so much on your conscience. What you gonna do about it? Sit under the moon and holler. Mama said all of that talk redundant. Shouting at the sky like you gonna do something. Don't you know that shine don't stop for nothing? Shouting at the sky like you gonna do something. Don't you know the shine don't stop for no one? Yeah, the bar is settled, I got my medals, I don't need your validation. My hustle is plenty, got a bag full of dumbbells ringing. It's weight heavy on my heart, but I'm gonna keep singing. I'm the bird at your window trying to wake up the world. Do it sound like a riddle when I'm giving the word? Gordon Parks with the picture, Noah's Ark with the scripture. Put my 2 cents in enough just to cop your swisher. Got perp in the elixir, I've been zooted up. Spliff up in the coop, shout Khalil, he gon' roll 2 up. Face to face, haze won't fade away. Gon' need to wipe me down, boy, this drip is like a rainy day. Oh, they like the style now, changing sides. Better off stay inside. You don't wanna rap with me, boy, you wanna stay alive. And it ain't the weed, it's the frequency that's got me high. I promise you could never see me through that lazy eye. Vibrations never lie, so how could I radiate and reflect the real light? Trying to give y'all something that just feel right. All I do is write about what real life is. Tell me what that feel like. So much on your conscience. What you gonna do about it?
Get into it.
Nothing but sit under the moon and holler.
Not to mention this was posted 5 days ago, so this is fresh. This is True. This is good lyrics. It's great lyrics actually. Beat is good. I like how he's flowing. I like the concept of the song. I'm pretty sure this is like a COVID-19 stay inside song because he's talking about staying inside, and that's like some of the tags. One of the tags is COVID-19, and he said indoors again. What y'all think? I think this shit is great, and I'm eager to hear more. So this would definitely be an artist I'm looking out for and checking for music for.
I like the piano, bro. The piano sound like that old Western saloon piano that the niggas is playing when they at the bar drinking back in the fucking 6-shooter days. And I like how the verse built up until you finally get in the drums, because when you do that, you have to keep the attention of the listener with what you're saying, because a lot of people only listen to songs for the beat.
Yeah.
And for you to take the beat out of the equation for a whole verse and a whole hook lets you know that you got something that's worthy to be listened to with no beat present, that the person will get sucked into without needing the flashy drum kit to get them bobbing. You know what I'm saying? To get they fucking body moving and shit. So I definitely fuck with it, man. What's it called? Redundant? What's the
True.
artist? True.
TRU period.
All right.
True. Next, we got Ridin by REEZYTHESPILLKID and ItsOnlyBryce.
There we go. Y'all know the kids.
Great beats. Great beats.
bitch, I like the skin. Looking at the slut, little bitch, you like the gleam. Designer on my denim, little bitch, I got Dior on my jeans. Count my money up, fill my tummy up. Get the tummy tuck, you don't wanna buck. I don't give a fuck, you don't wanna buzz. You don't wanna want, you can run it up. I talk, niggas wanna chop block. Jumping hot, got trippy with the black hot. Bitch, I am the hot shot. Pop with the red dot. Who you got caught? You the one they said die. I'm so cold like it's on my soul. Only see ice when I blow my nose. See it to This song is vibes. That's written across the whole vibes. It's vibes everywhere. Like this is some cruising.
Exactly.
You can go fast. You can cruise fast. You can cruise slow. You can. This is whatever you're doing. Is just maximized when this song is on. Like you could be sitting, chilling, drinking some Hennessy, and you just the man at that point.
Remember the last time we did? They tracked we did Bryce's track, Petty Boop. You just pulled the Hennessy bottle out, opened it right up, and just started a fucking party. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you do to their music. You just do whatever you doing 100%.
It's that shit like you driving at night, bro.
The
streets lights is just on, bro. Like it's that shit that you know how when you see the street lights and it look like the light trails is coming off them joints. This is that shit. Like this shit is like it can turn everything in you into a fucking EQ display, bro. Like that's that type of shit. It's like psychedelic rap. You know what I'm saying? With the reverb and all that. Like that's that shit that puts you in a mood, bro, to have you ready to do whatever you about to do 100%, just like you said, my nigga. But they always come with the heat, bro.
Always.
I mean, it's not. I mean, this is a familiar voice. That's REEZYTHESPILLKID and ItsOnlyBryce. That's they familiar voices on this shit by now. So you shouldn't even be surprised. And we got one more. Another familiar voice, Nic Porter. Drop the name of that track for me.
Bag Talk Freestyle.
Let's just listen. Just listen.
Hold on, we gotta add.
Yeah.
But this is just wait for it. I'm not gonna play an ad. It's a Kentucky Fried Chicken ad, and I just said it, so these niggas better be coming with some funds very fast.
That's a chicken ad?
It's a chicken ad.
They don't need to play chicken ads for us, nigga. We already like chicken.
That's what I'm saying. And I think we got 2 advertisements because it says 1 out of 2. So we got another 30 seconds. No, SoundCloud is broke, bro. They trying to sell like their Pro Unlimited, and they giving you 50% off of it when you upgrade by April 6th. So
niggas ain't got time for that. Niggas need free shit right now. Niggas
that's what I'm saying.
The house with the coronavirus out there attacking people.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, nobody ain't got
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
What the fuck? Can we get to the music, please, SoundCloud?
You can dial, hit my nigga, be safe. Keep all the valuables of gold locked in to keep safe. This ain't the time to be telling niggas that shit fake. Watch bring the chain, nigga don't wear no chain. We keep the moves Chinese food, gas propane to play full. Moves Chinese, nigga low main. I know a bitch that wake up the OG and cocaine, slip a nose off, take a shot and nose off. My man's ain't start wildin' till his head got as long as old dogs. I'm in the crib plotting, trying to crack the code. I knew you niggas wasn't solid when your cloud got acknowledged and you started doing the most. I'm in my wave, feeling back-to-back tsunami to coast. You niggas lame but can't say you wasn't modest, you know. This shit is polished, you know. We different, you niggas, you live for a post and live in the pose. I'm trying to get the bag.
Hold on. Here you go. Go.
I'm here for the bag of money. money, I'm straight on the handshakes. You dummy, lest you try and shift this landscape for me. Free running to the chains, break from me, break off me. We ain't doing no slave contracts. Need my bread up front, and what's left on the back. Need my girl able to cop everything on the rack. Need my plug able to not have to rely on the pack.
Bruh. This
Bro,
song,
that reverse beat in the dead center throwing, bro, I don't even know. This freestyle is like the beat is like punching you in the face with a metal glove. Like, where did you get these sounds from? Where did these sounds come from?
This beat sound like Tribe Called Quest, Souls of Mischief, and the Roots got turned into a motherfucking hot music fucking smoothie, and this nigga just rapped across it. Like, all that shit got blended together. You understand me? Mm-hmm. And he just came through rapping across that joint. Like, straight up, no fucking filler. It remind me, you know why it remind me of Tribe Called Quest? That's my favorite group. I don't give a fuck who knows it. It remind me of them. It's a song that they got called. It's 2 songs that they got, and the message of this song is similar to those. One is called Show Business, both off Low End Theory, right? Mm-hmm. Where they go through the ins and outs and the ups and downs of fucking having a rap contract, right? Mm-hmm. About how you can sign that shit, and a lot of shit that you didn't sign up for comes with it. And he was like that. He was like, fuck that. I'm gonna run into the chains break off of me. Ain't signing no slave contracts. And the other one was the song Rap Promoter off Low End Theory, where he was like, the sentiment in his track that reminds me of that one is where he was like, I want the fucking cash, save the handshakes, when the fucking reverse beat came in, bro. And just the sound of this shit took me back. This is a brand new song from a brand new artist that's probably younger than me. But this shit, the way it sound and remind me of some of my favorite music ever, took me back to my fucking teenage years, when I was just listening to fucking Tribe and Wu-Tang, the Roots and Big L and Biggie and all that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then this shit was all, when I was a teenager, all that music I just listed was already old. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like not to think, niggas, I was not a teenager in the early 90s. Nigga, I was barely talking in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? But this shit is just pure flames. Like, you got anything else to say about this track, dog?
Honestly, that was one of the best songs I heard in a long time. Great. And it's a freestyle. Mm-hmm. So, big ups to Nic Porter. Big ups to Divine Abstract. This is a beautiful song.
Big ups to everybody.
Big ups to everybody. Big ups to every person we had on this independent spotlight, because we didn't do one last time. Well, y'all didn't even hear that. We didn't get to hear
because the Illuminati and Donald Trump came in and erased the podcast.
Yeah, we ain't want to say it, but we know y'all niggas erased the podcast because we had facts. Yeah, but y'all gonna get them facts real soon.
Because the fucking sound waves are there, but they don't play. Like,
but now they're completely gone. Like, it's no sound waves now.
Well, fuck. Well,
so that is like half of the audio is just scrapped now, and it says they can't be found, and that has never happened.
Well, that's what you get for buying a MacBook. And on that note, we're done here.